Welcome guys to another video here on the ManUnitedDaily YouTube channel, and in this video I just want to talk about a subject that I'm sure a lot of you guys don't want to ever talk about, but we have to face up to the possibility that one day David De Gea similarly will be going back to Spain, and more specifically Real Madrid, conceding all the rumours. And given the history of when Real Madrid really wants a player, more often than not ends up with that player moving to Madrid, even for huge amount of money. They do have a track record that they do have this Galacticos ideology, and David De Gea would be the next piece of the puzzle given the Iker Casillas situation right now. And in this video I just want to talk about potential replacements that we might get or already may have in order to fill the void that will leave a massive gap in terms of the next stage or phase in United's history. And given the history of the replacement that we have made over the past 20 years in order to replace a world-class goalkeeper, we haven't had the very best record in terms of it, because of the Peter Schmeichel left. There was a long period where we waited until a worthy successor came in, and it came in 2005. And when you think Peter Schmeichel left in 1999, you can see the massive search that Alex went in order to get the right man for the job. And after Van der Sar retired, there was a lot of people given a lot of doubt in terms of David De Gea. And if you go and check out my one of my first ever videos about 4 years back, 3-4 years back, I defended David De Gea. And I'm really happy to see the fruition of our faith. And a lot of United fans had a lot of faith in his ability, and right now he's paying us way more better than we could ever have imagined. But obviously now all the talk is that he is about to leave, and the contractual situation is a bit of concern, because next summer or next January he is able to speak to any club under the Bosman rule, and therefore could push on and leave on a free, and that would be a massive hit in terms of any potential transfer fee we may have in him, given all of the time and investment we have all made. So it's a terrible situation for us to be in, because given there's not many world class goalkeepers around, and he's definitely in the top 5, if not the top 2 or 3. So it's a big concern. But again, we just have to press on and see who potentially could replace him. So the first player I would say is again goes with a young goalkeeper, and it's Ben Leno. He's 23 years of age, play currently for Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, should I say. And he played against us last season, where I didn't think he had the best of games, but he's touted as one of the better German goalkeepers in the Bundesliga. And he's I've watched him a few times, and he's definitely got the agility that David De Gea has. The only concern is his kicking ability and start possession play from the back, where I don't think he's as adept as De Gea. And obviously you can always improve on that technique. And we obviously have a very good goalkeeping coach in Franz Hoek, who pioneered, or one of the pioneers of the back pass rule, where he wanted a goalie in order to set a pace for any potential attack. So Leno would have to work on that aspect of his game. But this season I think he has developed even more since the last time I've seen him, where I think he's more commanding in his box, and his agility is always there. So I think he would be a very solid replacement for David De Gea. I don't think he's in the same category, given that they are at the same age. But I believe his release clause is around 18 million euros, so considerably less than other potential candidates out there. Obviously, given that potential, he could go on to develop very high levels of a performance. But it would be a risky kind of like candidate, because like I said, he is, even though he's played a few times in the Champions League and represented Germany at a youth level, he's not as established as some of his other names that I have on the list here. So given that we are replacing, and given the troubles of the past, Louis van Gaal may opt for more of an experienced goalkeeper in order to add or replace stability that De Gea has provided this season with even more experience in that regard. So what do you guys think of Ben Leno? I think he would be a solid candidate, but I don't think he would be my first choice to replace David De Gea. The next candidate I would say is Petr Cech, and we all know his ability. Obviously his connection with Chelsea could make negotiations a lot more difficult, because Jose Mourinho, do not want to add, quality to direct competition. But again, Petr Cech has expressed his desire to leave Chelsea in order to re-establish himself as the number one at his new club. Also, he has been a bit unfortunate with the incoming of Thibaut Courtois and displacing him, and that's not to speak of Petr Cech's ability. It's more to do with Courtois, younger player, and he has the potential to be one of the best keepers in the world. So Jose Mourinho had to make a tactical decision in order to keep the younger and potentially better goalkeeper happy, and leaving the older statesman out in the cold, if you like. But Petr Cech, he's only 32, so he's no mean finish by goalkeeping standards. And we all know what he's about. He adds a lot of experience, a winning mentality, and he has been one of the best, Premier League goalkeepers in recent years for the past decade or so. So Petr Cech, I wouldn't have no qualms if he did come to United. I mean, I wouldn't say he's as good as he was in his first couple of years at Chelsea, where he was basically immovable in goal and just stopped every single thing that hit his goal. But Petr Cech, I think, is still a very, very solid player. Adds, like I said, a lot of experience because he's played in the Premier League for the last 10 years now. Has the winning mentality to fit a huge club like United. So Petr Cech would be definitely a very, very solid choice. And I think the fee probably wouldn't be as extortionate, because they would want to treat him with respect, and they would probably listen to a right price, probably about 12 to 15 million pounds for him to go. So I think that would be a very fair price for the player of his caliber and pedigree. So what do you guys think of potentially Petr Cech coming to United as the new number one? Player I want to talk about is Hugo Lloris, and similar like Petr Cech, very, very experienced player in the Premier League now. Had 2-3 years in the Premier League and hasn't proven his tremendous ability and record in Tottenham shirt. And Hugo Lloris, I'm sure you guys all seen his performances, and even against us this season, performed tremendous as well. His reflexes are second to none, and he has obviously his main attribute is his ability to basically be a sweeper keeper. He's very fast off his line. His kicking is decent, but I wouldn't say it's the best. But like I said, he's at a great age for goalkeeping terms, because he's in his late 20s. So he's definitely has all the experience in the world, but again, still relatively early in his goalkeeping career, because goalkeepers now can push on to late 30s, 40. So he's definitely had a long way to go in terms of developing himself as the finished article as a goalkeeper. So Hugo Lloris, would amount to a bigger investment in terms of money, because he still has a good number of years left on his Tottenham contract, and more importantly, Daniel Levy is a renowned negotiator, and we all remember Berbatov, Carrick. We had to pay over the odds for those players, but Daniel Levy wouldn't let Lloris go without a huge fight, but the only problem is that I think if Lloris does want to go in search of Champions League football, and it does seem that we, fingers crossed, get it next season, then it will be a huge draw if De Gea were to leave. And Lloris, like I said, very, very one of the top goalkeepers in the world, so he has a very high level of performance that would offer United, and he could potentially slot in straight away, and that will be a huge draw for Lou and Gal, knowing that Hugo Lloris doesn't need any transition time in order to slot in as United's number one. So a huge draw, but again, I think the fee would be quite high in comparison to the other candidates, probably pushing the 25 to 30 million pound mark in order to pull Hugo Lloris from Tottenham's grasp. But I think it will be a worthy replacement for De Gea. A lot of clubs, PSG will inevitably be interested in the French national captain, but it's just a matter of whether United will need him as soon as this summer, or whether they can fight off Real Madrid for De Gea. It's just a matter of what ifs right now. But in my eyes, Lloris would represent a very, very good replacement for De Gea. What do you guys make of Hugo Lloris? Would you make him your first choice target to replace David De Gea? And the last player I would talk about, and we already signed him, so it's a bit of a cheating point, but Victor Valdez, definitely a candidate to take on that mantle as the next goalkeeping legend at United, because we all know his outstanding resume from his time at Barcelona, winning 3 Champions League. So mate, I probably don't need to go on about all of the achievement he has won over the past 8 to 10 years. He's still like Petr Cech, only 33, so he's still relatively agile, and he still has a few years left in him at the very top level. We all know Victor Valdez, probably the best keeper in terms of playing the ball from the back. Obviously, that has been installed in him since an early age at Barcelona, so he would definitely bring an edge in that regard. The only concern I would say is that under a high ball, he would perhaps struggle, because he is not the tallest goalkeeper in the world. I think he's probably about 6'1", 6'2", so it's not the tallest, but I think that is probably the one main concern I would have about Valdez. But otherwise, we all know his positioning and also his reflexes are very, very good. And before he had that devastating injury, at Barcelona, I think he was right up there in the top 5 of goalkeepers in world football. So Victor Valdez, we signed him on a free, obviously on an 18 months contract, if we can't lure the likes of Lloris or get the signature of Petr Cech, I would have no qualms about putting Valdez in the starting lineup, because I think we all know his record and his ability. It's just whether he has still that sort of like high level of performance after his knee injury. So, but I think Valdez training with United, so he would start now to understand the culture, and obviously from his time at Barcelona, he knows how to handle big matches and big pressures, and his long-standing relationship with Lou and Gal and Francois makes it easy for them to trust him. So I would see no problem or see any uncertainty that Lou and Gal will start Valdez if De Gea were to leave in the summer, and we couldn't get a suitable younger replacement in, because Valdez is still a fantastic goalkeeper, and I definitely have no problem seeing him as the number one for the short to medium term, 2 to 3 years, and then we have to invest again in a younger world-class goalkeeper. But again, what do you guys make of Victor Valdez potentially being our number one in the near future? That wraps up another video here on the Man United Daily YouTube channel. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, comment below on any of the stories mentioned, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And also, if you want to keep to be updated with the latest videos, please subscribe to the channel for more content. You can check me out as well on Twitter at ManUnitedDaily, or visit the website at ManUnitedDaily.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.